Hello and welcome to another video. Today I want to look at appreciating what's here. And this is part of an ongoing series of videos where I'm examining these 9 ways of looking, which are to be found when we deepen our relationship with stillness. But actually these 9 ways of looking can be also uh, by focusing on these, they can be ways of deepening our relationship with stillness. Um, so this appreciating what's here is of particular importance. One of the biggest regrets I certainly had in my life, and I've heard, this from many other people, is not appreciating things. And there can often be that sense, oh, if I just wish I'd appreciated such and such more. And it's often the things that we find out that we're going to lose that we tend to suddenly appreciate. One of the areas I worked as a nurse. I trained as a nurse, and I spent some, brief time working in care for the dying, palliative care. And I was very kind of interested about that kind of work, and interested with people who are facing that kind of immense challenge. And there was this, I used to do a lot of night shifts, so I'd get to talk to people a lot when they wanted to talk, and there often was this sense of regret about not appreciating things while they were there to appreciate. I mean, it's often the same with relationships, that we don't often appreciate a relationship until the person's not there anymore. So, and I suppose another example of this, I wrote about this, and I did a blog post on this recently. I was kind of talking about this. I was saying about I don't know 10 or 12 years ago, I had a book released, I had a book published, and one of my dreams growing up was that I would one day see my book in this bookstore in Dublin, where I'm from, called Eason's. It's the main bookstore on the main street in Dublin, and growing up, it was my dream to one day see my book there on the shelves, and that actually happened. And not only that, but I actually got to do a book signing and a book promotional tour. And I remember when all that was going on, I remember thinking, I need to appreciate this while it's happening. But the sad reality was, I really struggled to appreciate it because my mind was too focused on what might happen next. I just, and also what kind of shocked me even more was that I didn't even really know what it meant to appreciate it. I mean, I was very familiar with the word, and I'd used the word plenty of times, but I didn't really know, well, how do you actually go about appreciating? And that question actually puzzled me for a long time. I was thinking, well, what would I have to do today so that, later on, maybe next week or next year or 10 years' time, that I won't look back and say, I wish I'd appreciated that more. I mean, it seemed obvious, but it just really wasn't obvious to me. But of course, it finally dawned on me that what appreciation is giving your full attention to that. And this was something, I got a major kind of clue for this, something that happened to me in my mid 20s. I was on a bus in London, and I had this, what I called it at this time, this incredible spiritual experience where the sense of Paul disappeared, and all that was left was the experience. And incredible, that experience has been, I've, I tell people I've kind of grown into that experience, but it took a very long time. But a major part of that was Paul disappeared, and there was just all this. And that's what appreciation is. And for me, that's what life does. And for me, appreciation and love are very much the same thing. And it's like that's what life does. Life becomes us. It becomes us as individual, and that's kind of like the ultimate act of appreciation, or the ultimate act of love. And that we're just being asked to do the same thing to whatever whatever's going on in our experience, that we give that the space, that we give that our attention. And that's what it means to appreciate, to learn. So rather than thinking about things so much, or at least being caught up in the thinking so much, that we actually learn to give our attention to what's here, to give our full attention to what's here. And you know, in some of the later videos in this series, I'll be kind of giving some more clues about how we might do that. But it is just simply almost like making what's here the focus rather than the ego or the dream self as the focus. Making what's here the focus. A common thing that I will hear from clients, and it was certainly very common for me to talk about this. I spent many, many years trying to find out who I was, there was this sense that there was a kind of me that was very, very buried deep inside me, and that my job was to figure that out, to find my purpose, to find out who I was. And that drove me for many, many years, and it meant I could never really settle. I could never really settle in a job. I could never really settle in a relationship, because there's all this sense that I had to discover this thing, this purpose, this me. But it finally dawned on me that what I was looking for was to be comfortable in my own skin. And that's not about finding anything. That's about becoming comfortable with who you are. And again, that's about appreciating what's here. You know, what's here right now. It's not necessarily about finding anything else. That nothing, this already is special. This already is incredible. This already is everything we want. And it's the fact that we go looking for a replacement for this, that's what craving is. That we need to kind of recognize that this is it. This is what we're seeking. This is what we're looking for. And to give our attention to that, to give our full attention to that. So I just thought I'd share that with you today. Please leave a comment if you'd like, and please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.